Alright, let's dive into something that's both incredibly personal and mind-bogglingly cosmic. Did you know that in 1972, during the Apollo 16 mission, astronaut Charles Duke left a family photograph on the moon? Yeah, you heard that right, a family photo framed and all sitting on the lunar surface for over 5 decades. But here's the kicker. On the back he wrote, "This is the family of astronaut Duke from planet Earth." And that little detail? It's what makes this story so fascinating. First off, let's talk about why this matters. In the grand scheme of the Apollo missions, which were all about scientific discovery and pushing the boundaries of human exploration, personal mementos were rare. These missions were packed with equipment for experiments, rock samples, and all sorts of technical gear. But Duke brought something entirely different. A piece of his life, a snapshot of the people he loved. Personally, I think this humanizes the Apollo program in a way that's often overlooked. It's easy to forget that these astronauts were real people with families, emotions, and a desire to connect their personal lives to this monumental achievement. What makes this really interesting is the phrase "from planet Earth." It's such a simple statement, but it carries so much weight. Duke wasn't just leaving a photo. He was leaving a marker of humanity's presence on another world. If you take a step back and think about it, this wasn't just a personal gesture, it was a symbolic act. He was saying, "We're here, and this is who we are." It's almost like a time capsule, a message to the future, or maybe even to some hypothetical lunar visitor. What many people don't realize is that this small act of leaving a family photo is a reminder that space exploration isn't just about science. It's about the human experience. Now let's talk about the photo itself. Duke didn't just toss a loose snapshot onto the moon's surface. He framed it, put it in a plastic sleeve, and carried it with him throughout the mission. This wasn't an afterthought, it was intentional. From my perspective, this level of care shows just how much this meant to him. It wasn't just a photo, it was a connection to home. A reminder of why he was doing what he was doing. And that's something I find deeply moving. In a place as alien and inhospitable as the moon, he brought a piece of Earth, his family, with him. But here's where things get a bit somber. The moon is not kind to earthly objects. There's no atmosphere to protect against radiation, and the temperature swings are extreme. That plastic sleeve and the photo inside have been exposed to these conditions for over 50 years. Duke himself has said he doesn't expect it to have held up well. And honestly, that's part of what makes this so poignant. The photo's deterioration isn't just about the fragility of materials. It's a metaphor for the fleeting nature of human presence in the cosmos. We leave our marks, but time and the universe have a way of erasing them. This raises a deeper question. Why do we feel the need to leave pieces of ourselves behind? Is it about claiming ownership, leaving a legacy, or simply making a connection? In Duke's case, I think it was about all of the above. He wasn't just an astronaut, he was a husband and a father. Leaving that photo was his way of saying, "This is my family, and they're part of this too." It's a reminder that even in the most extraordinary circumstances, the personal and the universal are intertwined. One thing that immediately stands out is how this contrasts with the rest of the Apollo legacy. We remember the missions for their scientific achievements, the one small step moments, and the technological breakthroughs. But this photo? It's a quiet, almost hidden part of that story. It doesn't contribute to our understanding of the moon's geology or the physics of space travel. Instead, it speaks to something far more intangible, our need to connect, to leave a trace of who we are. And in my opinion, that's just as important as any scientific discovery. So, what does this really suggest about us as a species? I think it shows that even in the face of the vast, unknowable universe, we're still driven by very human impulses. We want to be remembered, to leave something behind, to say, "We were here." Duke's photo is a tiny, fragile testament to that. It's not just a piece of history, it's a piece of humanity. And as we look to the future of space exploration, maybe we should remember that. Because in the end, it's not just about where we go, it's about who we are when we get there. So, here's my closing thought. If you could leave one thing on the moon, what would it be? A photo? A letter? A symbol of something you hold dear? Personally, I'd leave something that represents hope, because if there's one thing Duke's story teaches us, it's that even in the most distant places, we carry our humanity with us. And that, my friends, is something worth holding on to.